The celebrities, they are well known, their success is being counted, their failures is being counted, so it is very much easier to see their own failures, to see their flaws. It's just because they are up there to be seen by every other person. There are thousands of other divorces. Is there more than 2 divorces in your family? Personality your wife has, would you love if you see it in your children? And would you love to see your personality in your children also? Would you want to pray about someone that eats you? Why? Money is not the most important thing, but it is one of the most important things. Where we ladies love to be spoiled, love to be pampered, it is also nice for guys. Nobody doesn't want to be pampered. They are human. They also want to be pampered. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Opeyemi Abibat and I am a vlogger from Ibadan, Nigeria. I am not a marriage counselor, neither have I been married before. I'm just a lady in her mid-20s, and due to my research and all, I have just been able to gather some facts. When it comes to divorce between celebrities, the fact is, these people are in limelight, they're celebrities, they are well known, their success is being counted, their failures is being counted, so it is very much easier to see their own failures, to see their flaws. It's just because they are up there to be seen by every other person. There are thousands of other divorces that goes on in our surroundings, but we don't really see them because they are not in limelight, they are not well known. So guys, moving on, my first point as to why is it that divorce is becoming something very rampant is submissiveness and equality. We all have to accept the fact that we have to be submissive, either you are the lady or you are the guy. Yes, it is expected that, oh, the lady should be more submissive, but to me I feel like submissiveness should be from both parties. Okay, your wife is advising you to do this, you also have to reason beyond the ordinary. Okay, why is she asking me to do this? Why is she advising me to do this? Why is he advising me to do this? You understand? We have to learn to submit to our partner, to respect them, and we need to understand that equality cannot be 50-50. To some people it actually works, but I feel equality should be maybe 60-40, 70-30. You understand? There should be a common ground. My second point will be family background. You need to understand that getting married to someone is just beyond the person you want to get involved with. You have to check about family. How does the parents talk to each other? How does the children talk to their parents? Is there more than 2 divorces in your family? Why is it that it is more than 2 divorces? You have to check some things, because if ever in any situation you have issues which your family member should not interfere, it's just you and your partner. But there are some situations that might warrant it. You understand? You know within you that if I go here, this is what the response will be. So kind of know that, okay, this is a good family. The kind of family they have, I would want my children to also enjoy it. Because the thing is, getting married, your children will take some of your traits, likewise some of your wife. Do you have a trait you feel like you don't want your children to get? Because they are not going to go to maybe one president of another country to take their trait. It is yours that they will take. So the question now is, what the kind of behavior, the kind of personality your wife has, would you love if you see it in your children? And would you love to see your personality in your children also? You should answer that yourself. Thirdly, prayer and seeking for God's guidance. You have to pray about who you want to get married to. Seek for God's guidance. Why would you want to pray about someone that eats you? Why? Because the fact is, when he eats you, you should understand that if you pray and you are being told, oh yeah, it's good, you have to deal with that for the rest of your life. So you know when, okay, this person actually checks my needs, this person is who I would love to spend the rest of my life with, his flaws is something that I can live with, then you pray about it. The reason why most people go to church to pray with their cleric is because they are closer to God. When you can pray for 30 minutes, your pastors, your moms can pray for 30 days. You understand? But God speaks to everybody. You can fast and pray on your own, and God can also lead you. Source of income. We all need to understand that having a source of income is really important before getting married. There are some people that when they get married, they begin to realize that, oh, there is no money. Money is not the most important thing, but it is one of the most important things. We need to understand that you cannot stay in a house whereby your husband does 100% of everything. At the point he's going to get tired, he's going to nag, he's going to feel like I need help. It is going to choke him. It would definitely choke him. Except you're with a billionaire or a trillionaire who doesn't really care about how much goes out of his account. Trust me, no man will come home to foot the bills, pay the rent, pay children's school fee, your clothing, food. It is not easy. At a point the man would nag, the man will complain. the man will feel like the load on him is too much. So before getting married, have a stable source of income so you can assist your partner. It might actually be 90-10, it might have actually be 80-20, but at the same time, you know you are bringing something to the table. I know we ladies, you don't like to hear this word, what are you bringing to the table? But this is marriage, it's a life contract, so you cannot expect him to foot all the bills from day one to the end. At some point it will nag. We all want to be assisted. Where we ladies love to be spoiled, love to be pampered, it is also nice for guys. Nobody doesn't want to be pampered. They are human, they also want to be pampered, and not like you using their money to pamper them. At times we can, but nevertheless, like, have a source of income, have the kind of marriage where your husband can feel like, oh, I'm coming home to meet her and she's definitely gonna assist me. In marriage, you have to learn to love, forgive, and be very, very patient. Yes, you have to learn to forgive, focus on the major, and ignore some minors. Ignore some minors such as, or maybe it flings the a shirt on the bed. You need to understand that, okay, what is doing is actually wrong. You do not like it, right? There are ways to talk about it. Don't make it lead to nagging. That's why I feel communication, you know, communication is something that we all say, oh, communication, you have to learn how to communicate, but we really find it's difficult. There are various ways to communicate. Communication is very important. You have to learn to find a way to communicate to your partner, and it will not look like nagging. Just kind of find out the best way to communicate to your partner, and forgive your partner. They are going to like annoy you almost every single day, but you have to learn to forgive and move on. So do not ignore the red flags. You know, those ignored red flags during courtship is where you get into marriage and you cannot condone, you cannot accept that any longer. Your partner would nag with you when in a relationship, and you expect that after marriage to change. Definitely not. It would increase when you are married. It would increase, and you should not blame your partner for that because you accepted that. Lack of intimacy. I don't know how to shout this out as much as I can, that lack of intimacy is really a big deal. If you think your partner is not doing as much as he used to, you need to communicate this. If you feel like you're not feeling your partner, you need to talk about this. Have a relationship where talking to your partner about intimacy does not mean you are hurting their self-esteem. We do not really rate counseling as much as it should be. Counseling is very important, not because these people have medals or awards for being married, but because they've studied this marriage of a thing, relationship maintenance of a thing. They've studied it for years. They have experience. They've had several couples come to them, so they can actually talk to you, advise you, give you a preamble as to what you meet or what might actually happen in marriage. Everybody's marriage is very different. What happens for Mr. A or couple B might not work for couple A, couple B, you understand? But they've had different encounters of couples coming to them. They've had like advice. Pick what you think you need and let go of the rest. And while you're still married, when you feel like you have issues, you can easily go for counseling. Yes, it's one of the things we should learn to do. Counseling is very important. It eases your mental stress, your physical stress. In fact, it makes you see reasons beyond the way you and the partner is saying. Constant arguing actually leads to nagging, and it begins to make your spouse want to freak out. Like, what the heck? Is this marriage all about fighting? Is this marriage all about having issues? Is this how we have to live for the rest of our lives? You know what? I cannot deal with this. We need to understand, to forgive our partner at times when they annoy us, and when it is the best of time, when you are having probably good time, good conversation, when you are having a kind of movie night. Babe, I want to say something. There was this day you did this. I was going to mention it to you, but I totally forgot. Please, you understand? It doesn't have to be like when you're having issues. That is when you address issues, because that moment there is tension, and it is going to lead to more tension. Domestic violence is one of the most tangible reasons why marriage break. We need to understand that domestic violence, not just the spouse, the female, the man, the woman, they go through physical, emotional, mental abuse. We need to understand that these are red flags. You should have known from your courtship, during your courtship days, you understand? But at times there's so much in love that we overlook this thing. But we need to understand that when you see anything like red flag, first sit yourself down and feel like, is this something I can endure? It is going to be a long-term thing, not a short-term. For a long term, I cannot endure this, then girl, lady, guy, you have to take up and leave that relationship before it gets to marriage. And if you're in marriage, trust me, you cannot cope with something like that. And I feel like this is one of the most important reasons why marriage break: domestic violence. Not just the lady, because most time we feel like, oh, the guy beats up the woman. No, women also mess with their husband's mental health. When coming home doesn't seem to be comfort any longer, when coming home you surely accuse your husband of something, you begin to like set your husband, just want to see reasons to have issue. It is also an abuse. Lastly, I would love to advise us all on this: do not go into marriage with divorce is always an option. To be realistic, yes, divorce is an option, but when you go into marriage with such perspective, it becomes an issue. Reason is because any little misunderstanding that you feel like you should sit and talk about it, you would definitely feel like divorce is an option. You might not want to talk about it, feel like, when I'm tired, I will move. It is an option when it comes to the worst of the worst, and when it comes to like, okay, you know what, this is the height of it. But when you go into marriage with such perspective, any little misunderstanding, you feel like divorce is an option. When I'm tired, I will move out. So I hope we've learned one or two things about marriage or divorce, and we are able to make good use of it. Do ensure to like, subscribe, and share my video. I love you all. Thank you for watching to the end.